Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Ali and Yumi and Natasha, Megan and Jackie. Hello. Let's get started. We are going to tag team tonight. So you are in for a treat. We've been working behind the scenes on this for a little while. Super excited for this month between self-worth, boundaries, breath work. It's going to be fire month. So buckle up. Get ready to change some stuff. Before we get started on this, I also just wanted to let us take a few breaths. This is not my platform, and also I know that there is some really heavy stuff coming out of Israel right now, and I know I'm feeling it. So I just wanted to take a couple breaths to re-regulate, whether it's you're feeling dysregulated from that, or you're feeling dysregulated from being a mom with a young child, or you're feeling dysregulated because you own your own business, or anything else that's happening. I think let's just take a couple breaths because we're gonna dive into a pretty kind of heavy topic with self-worth. Everyone down for that? All right, cool. I think let's just do the box breathing that I sent you guys in the chat earlier. So I'll try to count us, unless Selby, do you want to count?
What's your count?
4, 4, 4, 4. In,
Okay.
hold, out, hold. Yeah.
Okay. I can count. That's fine.
Yeah. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out, hold it for 4
Yeah.
for each one. Everyone can kind of also count for themselves. I'm pretty bad at this. I don't know. Just like I always listen to these audios and I'm like, well, I can't count. Breathe at the same time. So maybe Selby will have better luck.
Okay. Do you want to do it for a certain number of rounds or?
Let's just do 4 rounds of 4
I
breaths.
like that. 4, 4, 4.
Does that sound good to everyone to kind of just drop into the space?
Cool.
Okay.
All right. And I want you to, if it feels right to everyone, to just set an intention to allow your heart to open to whatever is right here, right now. Okay. So you can leave your eyes closed or you can leave them open. Sophie, do you usually like to have eyes closed?
Whichever is going to allow you to drop into your own space. I usually like to close my eyes.
Yeah, I oftentimes like that too. So whatever feels right to you. And you can put a hand on your heart if you like, or keep them face up on your lap. I tend to like to put a hand on my heart. And we're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4. Is that right?
Yep, and then hold for 4.
Hold for 4. Okay. All right. Ready? Okay. So breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Out. 2, 3, 4. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, inhale again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just allow your breathing to come back to normal. You can take a couple of deeper breaths if you like. And just go ahead and wiggle your fingers, and wiggle your toes. Feel the edges of your body. chair beneath you. Slowly blink your eyes open and come back.
You. Very good counting.
I was good at math in elementary school. Apparently it still works.
I was terrible. I hope everyone feels a little bit maybe calmer. Yeah. A bit better. Okay. How are you feeling about this topic we're going to dive into? You guys excited to maybe walk out of here with a different belief about yourself? Different energy? No? Yes?
Yes, no, maybe.
So I had to go deep.
Nice.
And Natasha, this is like a little taste until we get the one-to-one. I'm excited for you. Selby, did you have anything you wanted to like say about self-worth before I kind of start us with the part we talked about and then switch it back to you?
Sure. Self-worth, I feel like, is such a big topic for us as women, no matter where you are in time and space, and all of this is just, there's different levels to this, right? So there is your conditioning, what you grew up with in your family. You add on to that society, right? And the subliminal messages that we're told. Then on top of that, you can add on an ancestral component. So what's actually being held inside of you that goes back potentially up to 7 generations, right? So there's all of these multiple layers. And the thing is that each of these can create an imprint on you, and does create an imprint, which can result in physical manifestations, mental loops in your head, right? Beliefs that are not really yours, that are not true, that some part of you knows isn't true, but is somehow running your life. And energetically, oftentimes I have found that this can deposit in the womb space, right? So probably most of you are here for either hormonal issues or things like that, right? Or something to do with women's health. And this can oftentimes be a link that's not really explored energetically. So we're really excited to start diving in, opening this energy up through a multi-layered approach, and then to see what we can start to rewire in a different way. Because despite what, you know, the story in your head might or might not tell you, you're worthy of so much. You are infinite. You have infinite capability to heal, to create a life that you absolutely love. Like, your mind cannot possibly conceive of this. But as you start to access it deeper, and not just understand it in your head, but really start to integrate that deeply in your heart, in your soul, in your energy field, the way you carry yourself shifts, the way your body reacts shifts, the way your life is starts to shift, all because you shifted inside. So I couldn't be more excited to tag team with Sophie on this, because this shit's a game changer, ladies.
Mic drop. I forgot to say, does anyone not have like a journal on them? Because I think we're gonna do some active journaling. So if you can grab that, that'd be great. And Natasha, I can't see your face. You're with us?
Yes, I'm eating. My CGM was yelling at me, so I'm just eating.
Amazing. Yeah, you guys, Natasha's doing the very app CGM. If anyone wants to try it out, I think you've had a really good experience with it.
Yeah, it's been really, really cool so far. So yeah, I'm just eating my blood sugar balanced meal.
I love it. Learning more about our body is so helpful. Yeah, and I'm gonna just wait for Allie to get back so she doesn't miss anything. And Jackie, are you with us too? Just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Okay, good. Cool.
Yeah, I ran to grab a journal.
Okay, and Natasha, when you're done eating, if you don't mind putting your camera back on, it just helps with this technique that I see your guys' face. But I'm going to talk for a little bit before we drop in. Awesome. Okay, so some of you have done quantum time technique with me one-to-one, but most of you actually haven't, for who showed up on the call. So know that when we do this one-to-one, we can go even deeper, because I can hear what you're saying and help you reframe, but you're going to reframe yourself. So before we even talk about the technique, kind of just to dovetail off of what Dr. Selby said, is that all emotions are geared towards resourcefulness, even if it doesn't produce the intended positive result. What I mean by that is you can experience anxiety and you can experience fear and you can experience anger, and those might not be considered positive emotions, but they are there to teach you something. So as we go through this process, if you start to cry or feel emotions, I really want you to be aware that it's 100% okay. Those emotions are actually geared towards you having a release, towards you learning something, towards you having something that's going to help you. Okay. So we really, really want to get to the point where we start talking about emotions as positive, even when they are feeling negative. Tears are beautiful and cleansing. All emotions are welcome in the place. Yes. 100%. I used to have like such a hang up every time I would cry, I would apologize. Anyone else? Right? One of my mentors said, if you say I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to have you reframe it to I'm sexy. I love that reframe. So I'm just trying to help you to like hear it over and over again from both of us, that it's actually really helpful. And we don't want to hold on to them. Holding on to the emotions, keeping them in our body is exactly what Dr. Selby was just talking about. They create physical manifestations. So the thought with this technique is that when we get learnings from the past, from wherever we formed the belief, and today we're talking about self-worth, so whatever your belief is about self-worth, we get the wisdom from the learnings, and then we apply them to the event where we learned it, and then to our whole timeline, all the way to now and into the future. And by doing so, we really create our new identity, and we release how we used to think about it. All right. So when things happen to us, we're usually happening in the early part of our life from the age 0 to 7, where we get imprinted with what's safe, what's not safe. Is it safe to speak up? Is it safe to have boundaries? Is it safe to speak my needs? All these different things. We learn those when we're younger, and we usually learn them through our parents, or as Selby said, generationally, stuff can get locked in. Can you guys hear that dog barking really loud? Okay. So we create a filter of the world through our experiences when we're young and the tools and the emotional capabilities that we had when we were that age. Does that make sense? So now, as a 20, 30, 40-year-old, however old you are, person, you have new experiences and you have new emotional tools, and you have us, and you have a lot more to look back on those things and to reframe yourself. And that's where the empowerment comes from. Because at the end of the day, and this is a hard one to swallow, we choose how we react to the things that come up in our life. We don't choose necessarily what happens to us, but we just choose how we want to look at it, right? So if we are walking around with a belief about self-worth being related to productivity, which is one I cleared for someone earlier today, and every single day we have to be productive because we own a business or we work in a job, right? And then we're like wondering why we're burned out. Like those things are linked. Okay. So, yeah, so that's good. And then just to kind of touch on the generational thing. So I'm going to ask in a second, was the original time you learned this decision, like when you made the decision, was it before, during, or after your birth? If you don't believe that there's anything before birth, if you don't believe in past lives or generational stuff, that's cool. There is no judgment here. Just, there is no judgment. However you think about that stuff is totally fine and totally perfect. I've had people do both. Okay. And yeah, if you don't believe in it, your brain just won't tell you to go there. It's as simple as that goes. Okay. We're going to be dealing at the level of the subconscious mind, which sometimes talk to you in images or metaphors or time, like repeated events where you can remember this kind of feeling that was linked to an image. All of that's completely fine. So you can't do this wrong. I just want to say that. I know I've said that to Megan on our one-to-one calls, like you can't do it wrong. Like there's no perfection. However you see time, however you see these events. Sometimes like I've worked with someone just working on anger, and they saw it as a red ball of fire. That's how they saw it. It wasn't an event where like their parent yelled at them and they got angry. It was just this thing that they saw. So however you see this self-worth in your timeline is totally awesome. Okay. So we're going to reframe ourselves to get ourselves into a new perspective, a positive perspective. We're going to get lessons. And I'm trying to think what else. Yeah. Your timeline is where you store all your memories and your beliefs and how you are you, how you are Yumi, how you are Natasha, how are you are Ali, like how you see the world. It's all created in your timeline through the life that you've lived. Okay. And what we're saying here is we're going to change the perspective. Okay. Okay, we're going to journal. I'm trying to think. I'm going to do a really quick test drive because most of you haven't done timeline work. So I'm just going to do is nothing to do with self-worth or anything. We're just going to, I'm going to have you guys test drive the timeline. Okay. So no stress, just going to have you do it and it's going to be great. So close your eyes. And I want you to start to imagine how you see time. So if I were to ask your unconscious mind where your past is and where your future is, you might say it's from right to left or front to back or up to down or in some direction from you in relationship to your body. So if I were to ask your unconscious mind, where's your past? To what direction would you point? And you can do that, or you can just give me a nod that you know that your past is somewhere. Okay, perfect. And so in your future, what direction would you point for that? Okay, good. All right. So bring to mind the directions that you pointed to that represented your past and your future. And do you notice that they imply a line? And if not, for the purposes of this exercise, could you just imagine that they imply a line? And give me a nod. And Yumi, just give me a nod so I know you're with us. Okay. All right. So I want you to float up above your timeline. And when you get above it, just go ahead and float up even higher to get the bird's eye view looking down at your timeline right now. Now, remaining high above your timeline, float back into the past, any time in the past. Notice how it feels and sounds to have this high perspective, a super safe distance way above the past. And give me a nod when you're there. Great. Good job, everybody. So now I want you to turn around and float back towards now and stop there. And give me a nod when you're in the now. Okay, good. And then I want you to go out to the future. And just notice how it feels to see all the future events from this high perspective. And just float up higher, float so high that your timeline seems like it's 1 inch long. When you've done that, give me a nod. Beautiful work, everybody. Good. So now I just want you to float back to now, float into the now, and come back into the room. And open your eyes when you're ready. Okay, good job. You guys all tested out your timeline. So that was pretty easy, right? You could see it, kind of imagine time, right? In this like fashion. You might see time like a spiral, like my husband or whatever. It's all good. But you were all able to do that? Yes? Okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So I want you guys to write down these questions in your journal. Write down at the top of your journal, what does that give you? What does that do for you? And how does it make you feel? Just write down those 3 statements. What does that give you? What does that do for you? And how does it make you feel? Okay. Because instead of me reframing you, you are going to reframe you and you're going to find the highest purpose. So what that means is, if you come up and when I ask you a question in a minute, when we're in the timeline, if it comes up as a negative thing, I want you to ask yourself, what do I want instead? What do you want instead of believing you're not worthy? What do you want instead of feeling negative about it? Whatever it is, okay? So what do you want instead of? And then if it's positive, you're going to ask yourself one of those 3 questions. And I'm going to be leading this too, but I just wanted you to have it too. Because basically we're trying to just reframe and chunk up until you get to a place where you're like at the highest perspective, looking down at this event and getting some learnings, okay? So if you have something negative, you're going to just ask yourself, what do I want instead? And otherwise, you're going to ask yourself one of those 3 questions. All right. Okay, that's it. That's all the stuff I needed to say before we actually go for it. We're going to do this and then we're going to clear the energy around it too. So emotional release, neuro processing, where literally in order for you to feel an emotion in your body, you have to actually think about it. You have to actually have that wiring in your brain. So we are actually going in with your permission to rewire what's not helpful for you. And then we're also going to clear it energetically and find any blockages energetically. So we're getting like emotional, energetic, mental. Pretty cool. You guys ready? Questions? Everyone except for Megan has never done this before. So how are you feeling? Excited? Try something new? New tool? Love it. Okay. Taking off the sweatshirt. Let's do it. Okay. All right, guys. So go ahead and close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes with you. I'm going to try to relax your shoulders. Relax your shoulders. And allow anything that has come up so far to just release. Send it out to the water, to the waves. Send it out to the ground, to Mother Earth. Release it. Shifting any holding energy, negative energies, things that might be keeping you from your highest perspective here. And I want you to thank your conscious mind for showing up today, the one that makes analytical decisions, and all of that. But we're going to put the conscious mind on the shelf. We're going to allow your unconscious mind to show up for you. So think about the limiting decision that you have made about your self-worth. What do you believe about your own inherent worth? Is it dependent on someone else's approval? Is it dependent on productivity? What do you believe that might be limiting you in some way? And just give me a nod when you have a belief in your head about self-worth. Good. At some point, this decision was made. You were always trying to protect yourself. So let's drop any guilt associated with still believing it. And I want you to ask your unconscious mind, what is the first event where you felt this feeling or experienced the negative charge of lack of self-worth? Was it before, during, or after your birth? Whatever popped up, if it was before as the answer, that's fine. If it was before, was it in the womb or before that? If it was in your womb, in the womb of your mom, what month? And if it was before, was it passed down to you genealogically or past life? If it was a past life, how many lifetimes ago? If genealogically, how many generations ago? And if you got after birth that this decision was made, if you were to know, what age approximately were you? Totally fine to have an age range too. I'll ask again, what is the first event where you felt the feeling or experienced the negative charge of self-worth, lack of self-worth? Was it before, during, or after your birth? And when you know the answer, just give me a nod. Good job, everybody. All right, so go ahead and get in touch with your timeline, that thing we just found, and float up above it and turn to face the past. Float back to the past, right down into the event at whatever age or past lifetime or generation you were, at whatever time that was, right down into the event, looking through your own eyes. See what you saw, feel what you felt, hear what you hear. Ask your unconscious mind to notice the limiting decision that was made here and notice any emotions that were present too. And just give me a nod when you've noticed those things. Good. Rewind the event to right before you made the decision, right before you made the limiting decision about the self-worth, even if you weren't aware of making the decision. Just ask your unconscious mind to rewind the movie of your life to right before you decided to accept the belief in your life. Now, what is that emotion in your body? Everyone, I want you to float up a little higher and further back, so you're higher and further back before the event and above the event, well before and above it, and any of the chain of events that led up to this. And I want you to ask your unconscious mind what you need to learn from this event, the learning of which will allow you to let go of that old limiting decision and any emotions tied to it easily and effortlessly. Take on a new meaning and a new decision. So when you've got some learnings, you can either keep them in your head or go ahead and write them down. As you start to write those down, just remember your questions. If it's something negative, reframe yourself to what do you want instead? If it's something positive, what does having that give you? What does it do for you? How does it make you feel? With each learning, ask yourself the same question. What does it do for you? How does it make you feel? What does it give you? Just write down whatever pops into your head. Or you can stay with your eyes closed and just continue to do this in your own head. What does it do for you? What does it allow you to do, be, and have? Having this new learning and new understanding of the event with this new, clearer perspective. What would you need to know in your body to fully embody and to fully understand to allow this to clear from your timeline? From there on out into the future, easily and effortlessly letting go of any emotions tied to this event to allow you to drop the limiting decision and have a new decision instead. What do you want instead of that old decision? Give me a nod when you've gotten just one, at least one learning. Just give me a nod. Okay, keep going. Keep asking your unconscious, what do you need to learn from this event? What else do you need to learn to totally release that old emotion, old decision all the way across your timeline, knowing that having a new decision allows you to live the life you want? And people you know and people you don't know will come to help you and aid you in your new identity, your new beliefs, your new goals. With your eyes closed, floating up way above the event where you made that decision, just check in with your body and any emotions. What are they trying to tell you? What do you need to learn to release this easily and effortlessly? And knowing that latest learning and fully living that, what does that do for you? What does it give you? What does it allow you to have, be, do? And write down those learnings or keep them in your head. What other learnings can you get? What other learnings can you get from this event that will allow you to drop that old decision easily and effortlessly, take on a new meaning and new wisdom? Knowing that you can have peace and joy and fun and life that you want, that all the money flows to you, that all your health is available to you. All the options, all the possibilities, all the opportunities. What do you need to learn to embody and really feel in order for everything to open up for you? Beautiful work, everybody. And coming back to eyes closed when you've written down the lost learning. Dropping back into your event. Where is that old decision and emotion? Is it there or is it gone now? If you feel like it's totally gone now and cleared, go ahead and give me a nod. So ask your unconscious mind, for those of you that's still there, to float up above this event, looking down on it. What does your unconscious mind need you to learn from this event? If there's any feeling in your body, check in with your belly, throat, head, and chest. Selvi is also helping you in this way right now. She's doing live energy work and support for you. So check in physically, somatically with your body. If there's any feeling in your body where that limiting decision is popping up, like a tight chest or belly, go ahead and check in with that part of your body. Ask that part of your body, what does it need you to know? What do you need to learn to fully let go of this emotion? Let that part of you speak to you. If you've already cleared it, just hold on real quick. Go ahead and write it down or keep it in your head, any learnings that your physical body tells you. Any energies that you no longer want, that are no longer serving you, that you want to give back. Know that you can allow it to go out of your body, out through your toes, into the earth, or all the way up through your body, out through your head, and into the sky. Release. Release any thoughts, emotions, stories that no longer serve you. And ask yourself, ask your unconscious mind, are there any other learnings? Where is that old emotion and old decision? Is it there or is it gone now? Give me a nod if the decision and emotion is totally gone now. For those of you who the old decision is totally gone now, I want you to float down into the event looking through your own eyes. Check on the emotion and decision. Is it there or is it gone now? And for those of you that it's still there, imagine your future self could appear before your younger self right now. What wisdoms does she have to bestow to your younger self? What does she need to say to the version of you that experienced this? What wisdoms can you get from your future self? For those of you where it's totally gone now, give me a nod one more time so I know who you are. Amazing. And if it's lessened, give me a nod. If it's still there but it's lessened, give me a nod. Perfect. All right. So if it's totally gone now or lessened, you can come back on to now above your timeline and come all the way back to now only as quickly as you can recognize 3 or more events on your timeline. When you recognize those 3 events, watch as they rearrange themselves in light of the new learnings, new choices, new opportunities. Think about the feelings knowing that you can do, be, and have all these new learnings and that they are yours and you can live them. And watch as these 3 events, watch as they reevaluate themselves with these new learnings and let go, let go, let go, let go, let go of any negative emotions and apply the new learnings and the new beliefs you have. You're making new neurological connections at the subconscious level, new neurological connections at the subconscious level. Remember, the unconscious can take as little time as it wants. So just apply all those learnings, release the negative, and come all the way back to now. When you're ready, come back into the room. Just open your eyes. Juicy stuff. I'm gonna wake you guys up. Snaps. Break out of subconscious. In training, they said that the question we should ask is like, do you smell the popcorn? But clearly that was like made for in-person sessions. So back. Awesome. That's a group version of QTT. Pretty powerful. And Selvi is our energy amazing queen here. So I'm gonna let you kind of take over any other readings you want to do or clearings you want to do, or if we want to share. I'm just gonna let you take over for a little bit and I'm gonna sit back.
It's good. Are you guys open to sharing either any of the learnings or the initial incident or anything like that? Or if you're like, I don't really feel like it was fully cleared. I want to preface it by saying this is a safe space. As you start to talk about it, anything that's still being held in your energy field will start to reveal itself, and I'll be able to help you see what's really underneath that. Yeah.
And Selvi, since we're gonna do this per person, I'm gonna stop the recording here then, since it sounds like you're not going to be sending energy through the recording. It'll be more just so people feel more kind of safe too.
Yeah,